Hello toppers. Today we will be seeing our continuation regarding the infections, and today we will be dealing mainly with hepatitis. So this is one of the most important tabular column. I think the MCQs will be asked widely in this from this tabular column only. So let's see in detail to each and every viruses. So first is hepatitis A. This is also called as enterovirus. Be clear, it is also called as enterovirus, and the transmission is through fecal-oral route, needle or syringes, and sexual transmission. So be clear, it will be occurring through fecal-oral route and also through sexual and needle transmission. Okay. Then comes incubation period. This is also more and more important. It is from 15 to 45 days. Then comes hepatitis B virus. It is HepaDNA virus. So you can remember this is the only DNA virus in case of hepatitis. So be clear, it is hepatitis B. Then the transmission occurs through sexual transmission, needle or syringes, through blood transfusion, and mainly parenteral routes. Okay. So the incubation period here is from 30 to 180 days. Then comes hepatitis C virus, which is also called as Hepa C virus, and here the route of transmission is similar to that of B virus, that is sexual, needle, syringes, blood and parenteral route. Then comes the incubation period. It is from 15 to 160 days. Then in case of hepatitis D, it is like virions like they used to call it, and the transmission is through the same as B and C, that is sexual, needle, syringes, blood and parenteral route. These things are very important. It may seems very easy by looking at the tabular column, but in exams these are all the things which used to confuse every time. And the incubation period of hepatitis D is from 30 to 180 days. And the last but not least, it is hepatitis B, which is also called as calcivirus, and it is also called as non-A, non-B hepatitis. Okay. So here the route of transmission is fecal-oral route, and the incubation period is from 14 to 60 days. Here I had committed a huge mistake when the question had been asked regarding the viruses which used to get transmission through fecal-oral route. I had answered as both hepatitis A and E, but at last I came to know the question was only fecal-oral route. So the answer is hepatitis E, but I thought both hepatitis A and E, and I had gave the wrong answer. So be clear whether they are asking exactly or only regarding fecal-oral route, or they are asking as a whole. Okay. Then few mnemonics regarding hepatitis. So first, so you can easily remember, as I had told already, A and E both will be transmitted through fecal-oral route, but A has other type of transmissions also. So you can remember that the vowel hits your bowel like that. Then comes hepatitis A. You can remember as A3 here. So first is asymptomatic usually, and it used to present in an acute phase, and it appears alone, that is there will be no carrier state in case of hepatitis A. Then comes hepatitis B. You can remember it as BB. Okay, blood-borne hepatitis B we know clearly, and hepatitis C you can remember as chronic and carriers. Okay, with the help of this alphabets you can remember, and both of this hepatitis B and C are very clearly associated with carcinoma. Okay, it is associated with the carcinoma. Then comes hepatitis D. It is a defective virus. It is not that much strong. It is completely dependent on HBV. So it is very easy. As it is defective, it used to depend on HBV only. Then comes hepatitis C, which we already know it is a non-A and non-B virus. Non-B hepatitis. They used to call it like that. by indirect means. And here you can remember as E and E. It usually causes fulminant hepatitis. In case of pregnant women, we can think about hepatitis E, that is expectant mothers. In case of pregnancy, if hepatitis is developing, we can think about hepatitis E. Then comes epidemic. So whenever there is an epidemic, we have to think about hepatitis E. So be clear regarding the mnemonic. So in case of A, it is A3, that is asymptomatic, acute and alone. And in case of hepatitis B, you can remember as big bus, that is B and bloodborne. And in case of hepatitis C, it is C3, so chronic and carrier state, and both this B and C are associated with the carcinoma formation. Then comes hepatitis D, it is very defective, so it is dependent on HBV. Then at last it is hepatitis C. So in case of pregnant mothers, it is hepatitis E only, and in case of epidemics also, it is hepatitis E only. So few important points regarding hepatitis B. So it is also called as serum hepatitis, and this already I had told that hepatitis B virus is hepatDNA virus. So here it is made up of double shell DNA, which is called as Dehn particle. This is one of the important MCQ. Try to remember it. So it is serum hepatitis and DNA virus, and it is also called as Dehn particle. So every time if we are going through hepatitis, we used to get confused with these antigen antibody reactions. So let's make it clear in this session. So everyone knows whenever there is any infection, simply first antigen will be forming, then antibody will be forming. So first here it is HBsAg, that is antigen. Then comes anti-HBs, that is antibody for the same antigen. Okay. So simple, infection had appeared. So simple, infection appeared, so then comes antigen, and once the antibody starts appearing, it means the patient is immune, the immunity is going high, so the patient got antibodies in their serum. So basically what will happen, this antigen levels will be going down. This is the basic scenario. Let's see regarding that. So as I had told, this is the first virological marker detectable in serum after the infection with HBV. As I had told, after the infection, antigen will be forming. So here the antigen is HBsAg. So if there is HBsAg in our blood, it is indicating the active viral hepatitis. It may be either acute or chronic, and 2 points you have to remember in MCQ point of view, that is, it is the epidemiological marker of HBV infection, and it is also called as Australian antigen. Okay, this is the things you have to remember regarding the HBsAg. So let's see regarding anti-HBs, that is antibody to HBs. So we know clearly that if the antibody is appearing, this is indicating that the infection levels are going down and the immunity is going up. So it is indicating the presence of immunity, recovery and non-infectivity. So it is very clear. Then another one, antigen and antibody. Here we have to remember. Till now we had seen HBsAg and anti-HBs, and here comes HBc and anti-HBc, that is nothing but core antigen. So there is no need to remember anything regarding this HBc antigen because it is not routinely detectable in blood. So let us talk regarding the antibody to this HBc. So this is considered to be the first antibody to appear. So make it clear, if it is first antigen to appear in case of hepatitis B, it is HBsAg, and if it is the first antibody to appear, then it is anti-HBc. Okay. So it is mainly positive even during the window period. And here 2 things you can remember, that is, if we are going for exact immunoglobulin analysis, if IgM is there, it is showing the acute infection, and if IgG is there, it is showing the chronic infection or remote infection of the disease. So here we are seeing regarding the core antigen and antibody. So nothing regarding antigen. So only few things we have to remember regarding the antibody, and this is considered to be the first antibody. So if it is first antigen, then it is HBsAg, and if it is first antibody, then it is anti-HBc. Okay. So IgM is for acute infection and IgG is for chronic infection. So here the third antigen and antibody which is more important and associated with hepatitis B, that is E. It is nothing but envelope antigen. So it is HBeAg and anti-HBe. So let's see if an antigen of HBe is there, it is indicating the active viral replication. So if viral replication is more, then the infectivity is very high, and this is considered to be the qualitative marker of HBV replication. Yeah, sure, if we have to analyze the replication, then we have to go for this antigen only. So simple, if antibody is developing against this antigen, it is showing that the replication will be going down. So simple, immunity is going high, so the viral replication is getting diminished and the infectivity is also getting decreased. This is the most simple explanation for all these three antigen and antibody appearing in blood. So with the help of this, you can easily choose the answer from the MCQs. So this is the clear profile. I am just showing it as an example. So already I had told the first antigen to appear in the hepatitis profile is HBs antigen. Yes, here in this acute infection, it is the first antigen getting started. Then I had told that regarding antibody, the first antibody to appear is HBc. Yes, it is clear, and I had told this is positive during the window period even. Yeah. So in the recovery phase only, these antibodies levels are going high. That also you can see. All these antibody levels are going high during this recovery phase. So recovery phase is indicating that the immunity is going high and the people are becoming free of infection. And here you can see HBe antigen, which is indicating the replication of virus. So in this infective period, this active replication you can see here. So next this is like we can work out and we can find what type of infection, what is happening in our blood and what type of infection is going on. So we are doing the hepatitis B profile and we are getting HBs AG positive, okay, then anti-HBs negative, okay, then anti-HBc. Already I had told the antigen related to HBc is not so important. So let's see antibody to related to HBc where IgM is positive, and here at last HBeAg is positive and anti-HBe is negative. So now we are going to form our inference. So simple, if HBsAg is there, it is indicating that there is active infection. Okay, it's very clear. It is positive and here the antibody is negative, so it is indicating the patient is in infection. There is no immunity. If antibody is not there, it is indicating that there is no immunity at all for the patient. Then anti-HBc and this here IgM is there. So this anti-HBc positive is indicating two things, that already we know this is the first antibody to appear. Okay, so it is indicating that the immunity started developing. Immunity is started gaining its confidence. We can think like that. Okay, started. Then this IgM is directly indicating that there is some acute infection. Okay. Then let's see, HBeAg is positive. So whenever EAg is positive, it is indicating the active viral replication or viral multiplication. That is, infectivity is very high, very high. Okay. And this there is no antibody, that is negative. So it is very clear that some active infection is there and even the viral replication is very high and it is acute. So we can think about acute hepatitis. So let's see what will come. Yeah. So, acute hepatitis is there in the body. Based upon this hepatitis profile, we can easily analyze. And these type of questions you can expect in our APAGT or whatever the competitive exams you are giving in the medical field. Okay. So, we will be seeing 2 to 3 pattern of the similar questions. So, be clear with the concept. Next. So, next HBsAg is positive, then anti-HBs is negative, then anti-HBc IgG is there, and HBeAg positive, anti-HBe negative. I think you people might have guessed what could be the diagnosis with the help of this profile. So, let's see, let's have some inference. So, it is indicating that HBsAg positive is indicating some active infection. Okay, so some infection is there. So, this is indicating still now there is no immunity, and this is indicating okay, this is considered to be the first antibody to appear. So, now the immunity had started boosting slightly high, matlab it had started its work now, and this IgG is indicating that there is some chronic infection. Okay, so if it is IgM, it is acute, and if it is IgG, then it is chronic. So this HBeAg positive is indicating the active viral replication or high infectivity. Okay, you can remember like that. So this high infectivity is there, and here as usual anti-HBe negative. So clear it is that some active infection is there, which is very chronic, and immunity had started its gain now, and still now there is high infectivity. So it's very clear, then we can go for the inference that it can be a chronic hepatitis. So let's see. Yes, it is chronic hepatitis B with active viral replication. Okay. I think now it would be easy for you to interpret this hepatitis B profile. So let's go for the next scenario. So in case of next scenario, HBsAg negative, anti-HBs positive. Yeah, there is something good. And here anti-HBc is there, that too IgG. And then comes HBeAg negative and anti-HBe positive. I think now also you people might have guessed the answer. So let's interpret. So this is indicating that there is no active viral matlab there is no active infection. Simple. Okay. Then antibody had formed. Yes, this positivity is showing that the antibody had formed. So immunity levels are going high. Okay. And this IgG is indicating clearly that there is some chronic infection, but this negative IHBeAg is indicating that there is no viral replication, that is low infectivity is there. Yes, antibody had also formed for this HBe, so it is clearly indicating there is no viral replication and it is having low infectivity. So most probably it could be a chronic hepatitis we can expect, and that too in a recovery phase. So let's see the inference. Yeah, our answer is correct. So this is a recovery phase of hepatitis B, and that too chronic. Then next scenario. Okay, HBsAg negative, anti-HBs positive, anti-HBc negative, then HBeAg negative, then anti-HBe negative. I think it could be somewhat difficult. Let's see how we can work out. So anti-HBsAg negative, so there is no active infection. Yes, no active infection. Then comes anti-HBs positive. It is showing good immunity. And the most clear thing we know, whenever there is infection, this is the first antibody to appear, but this antibody had not appeared now. So something is different in the scenario. Let's see what it could be. And then comes HBeAg negative. So there is no viral replication and no infectivity. So there is some problem that there is no infection, but there is antibodies formed against the virus. So this is somewhat new scenario. Till now we had not seen it. So let's guess what it could be. And the answer is vaccinated individuals. Yes, it is very clear that there is no infection at all, but there is development of antibodies to HBs. So it is clear that it is because of the vaccination done by the individuals. Okay. I think you people might have understood how to deal with this hepatitis MCQs and also with the hepatitis cases clinically. And thank you so much. We will come out with the next video.